Commanders fans, buckle up because the 2025 season is already hitting us with mind-blowing news. Do we have the first major flop of the year, a signing that could be wildly expensive? And what about the rumors shaking up our offensive star, the possibility of losing our best receiver? But the biggest bombshell, the one that touches the soul of our franchise, is the one threatening the future of our stadium and the team's name. This is exclusive. This is urgent. Stay until the end too. Understand it all and subscribe now so you don't miss anything. Fans, I can't believe what I'm seeing. We're already talking about the first big flop for the Commanders this 2025 season. And honestly, I'm telling you this, it's a risk Adam Peters decided to take, and one that could define his early legacy in Washington. We're talking about Javon Kinlaw, the defensive lineman who came to fill the void, the huge void, left by Jonathan Allen when he went to the Vikings. Many tore their clothes when Allen left, and rightfully so. He was a pillar, a leader, the heart of our defensive line. Now, the hope and the pressure directly fall on Kinlaw. Now, I ask you, how much did we pay Kinlaw? $45 million for 3 years with $30 guaranteed. That's insane for a player who, let's be honest, hasn't lived up to first-round expectations. He was drafted by the 49ers when Peters was there, yes, but that doesn't guarantee success. I think Peters saw something others didn't, a hidden potential, a spark that only he believes he can ignite in this new environment. Is it blind faith or a stroke of genius? The Cowboys, for example, always look for established stars, proven players who minimize risk. They don't play with costly experiments, much less with such juicy guaranteed contracts for players with a history of inconsistency. And the Eagles, they boast about their defensive line, their safe investments in elite talents that perform from day one, no doubts. But we, the Commanders, are betting big on a guy coming off a mediocre season with the Jets in 2024. Is this what we need to compete in the NFC East? A division where every inch counts and where the offensive and defensive line are crucial? I'm telling you, it's a risky bet, and the clock is ticking. Kinlaw says he wants to silence the critics, that he wants to repay the fate Adam Peters placed in him. And I'm telling you, he better. Because with Darren Payne and Johnny Newton by his side, he'll have every opportunity in the world to move, to exploit mismatches, to be the dominant player he's supposed to be. The pressure is not only on him, it's on Peters for writing that check, for defending this acquisition. If Kinlaw doesn't perform, if he disappears again in key games, if he doesn't show that aggressiveness and physical dominance we so missed last season, then yes, we'll have a major issue. We can't afford a passenger with that salary. Every snap, every play must count. The signs are positive so far. I've heard from training camps. They talk about his energy, his motivation. But inconsistency has been his shadow throughout his career. For every flash of brilliance, there are games where he simply doesn't show up, where he becomes invisible. That can't happen in Washington in 2025, not with what's at stake. Expectations are sky high, and every play counts to make the playoffs and compete for the Super Bowl. While the Giants are still in their eternal rebuild, making low-profile moves, we are here, investing big to win now. But that investment must translate into consistent performance, not sporadic bursts. Kinlaw has to prove he's not a bust. He has to change this narrative once and for all. And I'm telling you, if he doesn't, this will be a significant mark on Adam Peters' record, no matter how much he wants to. The ball is in his court. He has the talent, the opportunity, and the money. Now he needs to deliver results. What do you think? Will Javon Kinlaw be a resounding success and justify Peters' investment? Or will he become the first major mistake of the Peters era? Leave me your comments, and let's debate this with the passion that defines us. Now, let's move on to news that's got my heart in my throat, fans. Terry McLaurin, our captain, our F1, the soul of our offense, in trade rumors. I can't believe we're in this situation. It's said that the Patriots are interested in a possible trade if contract talks with the Commanders stall. Stalling? Really? After everything he's done for this franchise? I'm telling you this, Terry McLaurin is one of the best receivers in the league, period. No debate. 82 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 13 touchdowns with a rookie quarterback like Jaden Daniels last season. It's crazy to think about losing a player like that, especially when we're building something special around Daniels. How is it possible that we haven't locked down his extension already? I think Adam Peters needs to give him a blank check and say, Terry, this is your home. You're not going anywhere. You're the future of this offense. Look at what the Cowboys do. If they have a star, they pay them. Sometimes they overpay, but they ensure their talent and maintain stability. And the Eagles, with their star receivers like a Jay Brown and Devonta Smith, they don't mess around. They invest heavily in their offensive weapons. We, after years of suffering with mediocre offenses and quarterbacks coming and going, finally have a young and promising quarterback in Jaden Daniels. And are we going to take away his best weapon, his most reliable receiver? That would be a monumental own goal, a decision that would haunt us for years. I'm telling you, if this happens, it will be one of the worst decisions of the new management, one that fans would not easily forgive. Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated says that Washington will attempt to extend him before training camp. Attempt? It's not an attempt. It's an obligation. It's a top priority. If it fails, the Patriots, with their young quarterback Drake May, will be ready to pounce. They're desperate for offensive weapons, and McLaurin is one of the best, a consummate professional. They brought in Stefon Diggs, yes, but their receiving corps remains one of the worst in the league outside of him. Keyshawn Booth, Demario Douglas, Kendrick Bourne. McLaurin would be a lifeline for May, the kind of receiver who can change a game by himself. But now I ask you, does it make sense for the Commanders to trade McLaurin? Absolutely not. We made the NFC Championship game last year with Daniels at the helm. We have our eyes on the Super Bowl, on building a dynasty. Trading McLaurin would only drastically lower our chances of winning now. We have the cap space to pay him, so pay up. We can't afford to lose a leader, a captain, a player who gives everything on every play, a role model on and off the field. His presence in the locker room is as valuable as his plays on the field. While the Giants are still searching for their offensive identity and trying to find their next great receiver, we're about to solidify ours. Losing McLaurin will be a giant step back, the raw message to the fans and the rest of the team. I think this is a trial by fire for the new management. Are they really committed to winning now and keeping their stars, or are they going to play perpetual rebuilding and let go of the best talents like some teams I won't name, pay Terry, pay our F1, do whatever it takes? What would you do if you were Adam Peters? Would you pay him at any cost or consider a trade in negotiations? Get too complicated? I want to read your opinions. And now, the news that's keeping the entire DMV on the edge of their seats, fans. The situation of our stadium, and brace yourselves to the possibility of a name change. This is crazy, and I'm telling you it's the most important thing happening with our franchise right now because it touches the most sensitive nerve of our identity. President Donald Trump, yes, him, has said on Truth Social that he could block the deal for a new stadium in Washington, D.C. if the team doesn't return to the Redskins' name. I can't believe this. Do you realize the magnitude of this? Our home, the future of the Commanders, depending on a political decision and a name we already left behind after years of controversy, I think this is a low blow to Josh Harris and the new ownership. They've worked hard to clean up the franchise's image, to reconnect with the community, and now we find ourselves with this political bombshell that threatens to destabilize everything. We, Commanders fans, know we've suffered through years of stadium uncertainty, through the embarrassment of the Snyder era, with the feeling of not having a true home. We finally have an organization that seems to be on the right track, that listens to the fans, and now this. Remember when we were the Washington football team? It was a patch, a temporary solution. The name Commanders was a decision made after much deliberation, like it or not, and Josh Harris has been clear. A name change is not being considered. But now, with a political figure of that caliber getting involved, what happens? Does the franchise bend, or does it stand firm? Look at the Cowboys. They have their T&T Stadium, an empire, a symbol of stability and power. The Eagles, their Lincoln Financial Field, a fortress in their own city, a place where fans feel at home. The Giants, their MetLife Stadium, stable, drama-free. And us, here in limbo, with the possibility of a critical deal for our city and our team. The return to historic RFK, being hostage to a political agenda. This is unacceptable. I'm telling you, this goes beyond football. It's about the pride of the city, about our identity, about our history. RFK is sacred to many of us who grew up watching the greats there. The exclusive window to negotiate with D.C. for the RFK site already closed on July 15th. Close. That means the door is open for Maryland and Virginia to ramp up their offers. It's already reported they've been in contact with the team. I think D.C. remains the favorite, the most sentimental and logical choice for most fans. But this intervention by Trump complicates everything. What will the D.C. Council do? Will they yield to political pressure and force the franchise's hand? What will Congress do, which controls the city's budget? Now I ask you, should Josh Harris yield to the pressure and consider changing the name? Back to Redskins to secure the stadium at RFK? This is a question that divides us as fans. On one hand, RFK is pure history, our spiritual home, the place where legends were forged. On the other, the name Redskins is a sensitive topic, and a decision has already been made to move forward. I'm telling you, it's a no-win situation. If the stadium isn't built in D.C., do we go to Maryland, to Virginia? And what about the deep connection with the city, with the DMV fan base? This is a crucial moment, a turning point for the franchise. The identity of our franchise is at stake, and the fans' patience is wearing thin with so much uncertainty. I believe Josh Harris needs to be firm in his vision, but also strategic in negotiation. We can't miss the opportunity to return to RFK, but we also can't give in to political blackmail that compromises the brand's integrity. What's more important to you fans, the name or the stadium in D.C.? I need to know your opinion in the comments. This debate is vital for the future of our Commanders. Wow, what a news day, fans. We've dived right into the heart of what it means to be a Commanders fan. Now, I'm asking you directly, do you think Javon Kinlaw can really flip the narrative and become the dominant player Adam Peters expects? Or are we seeing the first big mistake of the Peters era? Your opinion is vital. And speaking of vital, what do you say about Terry McLaurin? Should the Commanders pay him whatever it takes to avoid a trade, or is it time to consider options if negotiations stall? It's a decision that could change the course of our offense. Finally, the question that's keeping us all up at night, is it more important for you that the team returns to the Redskins name to secure the stadium at RFK? Or would you rather keep the Commanders name and look for another location? This is the conversation we need to have as a family. This community is our home, a place where we live and breathe Burgundy and Gold. If you're a true Washington Commanders fan, if you feel this passion in every fiber of your being, then you have to be part of this family. Subscribe right now to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss a single exclusive update, and give us that like so more fans like us can join the conversation. Don't be left out. And remember, hail to the Redskins!